So what's up?
Not a whole lot. I just got back from touring the place that I'm going to be living next year, which is exciting, walking around the neighborhood and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, got to meet the people who lived there before and, no ginormous warning flags there, which is always exciting.
Hell yeah.
We're just moving to a different place. We have lived here for 3 years. It's all always, encouraging when they don't we've lived here for 1 year and now we're gone.
Yeah, I've yet to move into a place that was not a 1 year stint for someone, except for when I moved into my parents' house this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've lived here for just 1 year. The place we lived previously was 2 years, and we like this place. It's just not where we want it to be.
Right.
How about you? How's your day been?
Good. Last summer I helped my dad build a deck, and now this spring and summer, this spring I've helped my dad put a railing on the deck. That was that was most of my weekend. I did that for like 5 hours yesterday, then 4 hours today.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was
good old manual labor.
You know what? Honestly, I kind of liked it. Being able to just stand on something that was something that I helped build. I get the same kind of sense of euphoria that I get from using my computer that I put together with my own two hands. The motherfucker that I built. Mm-hmm. So just standing on a thing that I helped build it's pretty sweet. I have to say it.
Yeah, level 1 is cook a meal. Level 5 is build a computer. Level 100 is build a deck.
Yeah, exactly. This is the next ad campaign for Ebony. Y'all listening? Fuck that shit where you're pulling keys and shit out of tower puzzles to make lava fall on an orc or something. Now it's build a computer, then build a deck.
Home Depot. Who are you talking to?
Yeah, Home Depot, come on. Zynga is not going to fucking make this happen. You got to come to a real app maker, me, who's written maybe 200 lines of code in her life.
Oh, hell yeah. That's enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's enough to make an app. How much did how many lines of code is in Flappy Bird?
Yeah, easily that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've written, a million lines of code and deleted, a million and one lines of code, that's just efficiency.
Exactly. You've written -1 line of code, and that's something special. Not many people can say that. Welcome to Fear Baiting, everyone. It's your number one podcast in America. I'm Sarah, and I'm joined this week by friend of the podcast, Joe.
Hello.
Hi, Joe. Introduce yourself to the listening audience, what your history with horror movies is, if you have a favorite subgenre. Go ahead and hit us with all those.
I'm Joe. My history with horror movies is pretty limited, honestly. I think the one kind of highlight would be the time that I invited a girl I was into in high school over to watch Alien, to do the not at all cliche thing of put arm around person that when scared of, and it totally worked. But aside from that, I haven't watched many movies lately because of the ADHD. But horror movies has never been a genre I've avoided specifically. It's just that movies are long. But
movies are long.
Yeah. Within horror, I don't, like I said, haven't watched really enough to know a subgenre or which ones I enjoy. But yeah.
And this week we watched John Office Man's A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Which is.
We sure did. So I know that horror movies generally the kind of thing about them is that they are talking about something else, even though they're talking about, one thing. Like, oh, It Follows it's about the scary monster, but actually it's about STIs.
Well, I would push back on. I mean, so yes, It Follows is about. I don't think to say it's about sexually transmitted infections is an incorrect read, but I think there are places to like build on that. I think it as an STI is like, I think more than that, it is much more about like the trauma of sexual assault more than anything. But that's not the movie that we're here to discuss today. This is me splitting hairs over something. We can like it is both of those things. I don't know why I decided to pick a fucking fight about that one, but go on.
Either way, this is a movie about a monster, and that's it. It's a good movie about a monster, insofar as like, well, it seemed well paced and well executed to me. The jump scares were decent, but it's about that, and that's what it's about.
I thought that this movie was okay. So we're gonna have some conflicting viewpoints because I thought this movie was pretty bad, honestly.
Okay.
We'll get into more of the shit of it, but like I thought it was like competently put together. The edit, like nothing really was like. I've definitely seen worse movies. I've talked about worse movies on this podcast, but like I just felt so underwhelmed by all aspects of this, and I think because this movie was such a commercial success was a major reason that I felt so surprised when I hated it as much as I did.
I think that's kind of what I was. It's competently put together. Whether or not it's like a good film, I don't know if I would argue that much.
And there's just sorry, I finished watching this movie last night and I'm still processing it. And the thing is that like the version of this movie that I watched did not have subtitles for any of the sign language.
No.
Well, the thing is, I thought that was a really good creative decision until someone pointed out to me that I was probably just missing a subtitle track. Yeah. At which point I realized, oh, okay, so they're just okay.
Yeah, it says in the Wikipedia page, it talks about that, about how they started kind of making the movie with that kind of intention. Like they wanted to make a movie, simple enough dialogue wise that would work, but there was, a complex conversation at some point, and they ended up putting subtitle tracks in. So like maybe you could get some distance in the movie without the subtitle track.
Honestly, I felt like I got most of the way there. About like I might have been like missing some like individual characterization. Like the thing is that like all of the actors in this movie are competent to some degree that they don't really need their words to express, to like get the things across. Like it's I did not feel out of my depth watching this movie without the subtitles for the sign language. And I don't know very much. Like, I know a couple of things. I know hello, I know thank you, I know a couple of, like, very simple conversational things. But, like, I felt that this movie really actually, with a little bit more legwork, I think this movie really could have gone the distance as far as, like, not subtitling the sign language. I think they could have gone with not subtitling the sign language.
Yeah, I think there was, like, one or two, like, technical conversations that, like, pushed them towards captioning everything. But aside from those, you pretty much, like, and they, lip read and mouth what they're saying as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do that, and they also will, like, they also like the children specifically, I think, put a lot of emotion into their signing. Like I think that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are doing from what I understand, they're doing like a passable job of signing. Like they're doing better than Ruby Rose did in John Wick 2. But I think the kids actually did like a really genuinely good job at it. Like I felt like a lot of emotion was conveyed through the way that they signed. Like especially the sister, I felt like she was really, really good. And it makes sense.
She's deaf from I think like 10 months old or something like that, and like is fluent in sign, and they brought interpreters along to help her communicate on set and teach all of the other actors sign and stuff like that.
Again, we're gonna get into the whole plot of everything, but like I kind of want to talk about a big thing that I found really left out of this movie was that I thought that the girl, the child actress who's playing like the deaf child, I thought she was really good in this movie. I felt like all she got to do was just be a prop of like, oh, a deaf character in a horror movie. Because like the thing is that I wanted to see like we start this movie like what 70 days, 80 days into the everything.
Yeah, day 89. Yeah,
and like this would be still pretty early on, and I think that like this family obviously would have been using sign language because of because of her presence in the family, like, you know, in order to accommodate her. But I think there was a lot of things just like a lot of things left untapped that could have been like, okay, she has spent her entire life relying on this as a primary form of communication, and now everyone else in her family is getting used to that. Also, everyone else in her family is like constantly looking for places when they can like actually just like talk. Like we see John Office Man and his son go to like that waterfall to have a conversation. Like it feels like they are living in pursuit of places where they can talk and go back to being normal. And I feel like the fact that there is like, you've still got this like, I just feel like a deaf child would like, I felt like there was no emotion to her character, like no consideration to that given to her character when they wrote this movie. Like it does not feel like this character is like grappling with any of that. It just kind of feels like she is present to be like just
to have
a deaf child.
Yeah, to fuel the reason that the family can, you know, talk to one another. Yeah, that's a good point. I was kind of interested going into this movie. I'm deaf in one ear, and so like I can, you know, hear totally fine as far as like volume, but directionality for hearing I'm screwed on. But as a result of that, my mom wanted me to, you know, learn at least some basic signs just in case the worst happened and I lost hearing in the other ear. And so, and as part of that, and as part of kind of just my own research, I know a little bit about the deaf community and how kind of cochlear implants are a controversial thing in the deaf community.
Yeah,
because,
that also.
Because like the idea being that if you get a cochlear implant, first of all, getting a cochlear implant is not like boom, now you can hear fine. You have to like train to be able to use it properly.
Right, because it's a muscle that's just been sitting in atrophy your entire life. Like you're not just going to
your muscle, your brain, your nerves.
Exactly.
And also the cochlear implant itself does not perfectly replicate sound. It's spiky at a certain, you know, a couple of frequency bands, so it doesn't actually replicate what normal undamaged hearing is. It gives you an ability to have a conversation, but it's not the same. And so, yeah, the way that they kind of just skipped over that by saying, okay, yeah, she's got a cochlear implant, and this is an established way that this family communicates. Yeah, that is a missed opportunity, I think.
Right. I like I was saying, I just kind of felt like she was like it just felt like her character was just like her presence is like as. I don't want to say it was weaponized disability because it was more like it's I guess kind of weaponized disability in the same way that it would, like, you know, if there was a monster who was super weak to their like toes being run over with a wheelchair or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It just kind of hit me weird that this child's presence did not really feel built into this. Like the son, like, and she's there as like she has like a story, she has character, she feels really sad about the death of her brother and like other things, but like this aspect of her, I felt like the only difference between they could have replaced that actor with someone who was just not. They could have just replaced that character with someone who was not deaf and just so happened to be carrying a cochlear implant for whatever reason, and the story would not really change all that much.
And I think, yeah, you're right, because in the production of the movie, so Jim Office did not write the movie originally, but he was brought on to kind of rewrite it and direct and develop it further. Yeah. And when it was originally kind of pitched, they were not looking for a deaf actress to portray this character. He insisted on that, and so, you know, props to him for you know, giving this girl some good work. But at least as far as how the story was structured, it definitely did not require someone, the actress being deaf, whether or not the character was. Yeah.
And okay, we should probably get into the movie before I just spend the entire time griping about what this movie should have been. But I'm going to be rewriting this movie a lot during this episode because this movie is just a fucking mess. Like, it's competently put together, but like, the vibe of it is so strange. We'll get into it though. So
yeah,
we open with our beautiful bouncing family. We've got John Office Man. We've got Emily Blunt. We've got do they actually say these characters' names at all in this movie?
They don't. The dad character is Lee Abbott. The mother is Evelyn Abbott. the daughter is Regan, the youngest son is Bo, and the middle son, oh, did I not write his name down?
Marcus?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the
a
thing
family
is
of five, and Jim is not nearly old enough to have a teenage daughter, and
absolutely not.
That
Also,
very much struck me.
Also, like, I don't think that they actually, like, point the fuck. I don't think they actually say these names in the movies, so these names are all, like, postscript.
Right. Like
and
from
I think
the screenplay.
I think it's frankly coward shit to, like, have actually given these characters names. Like, I recently finished watching the Tatami Galaxy, and the protagonist in that is not named in the like actual 11 or 12 episodes that show exists in, and the character is also not named in the script. The character is just referred to as like student or watashi in the when talked about.
Yeah, like it could have
this is like the smallest thing to actually. Well. This is like this is like the smallest thing to get hung up on. It's
but like
not that
the
big
screenplay could have referred to them as dad, mom, daughter, son, and it would have been
dad,
son.
mom,
I guess,
dad, mom, daughter, son, son 2 parentheses 1 scene.
Yeah. Son 2 5 seconds.
So we open with dad, mom, son, daughter, and son 2. Son 2 is they're all like scavenging like a convenience store or something, just trying to get some shit. Son 2 almost knocks a cool toy plane out of the floor, but daughter like slides into frame on her knees like she's about to do a sick guitar solo.
Yeah, catches this space shuttle and prevents it from making a big noise. I wonder why that could be. And then, they all gather in the front of the store, and Sun 2 approaches with the rocket, and everyone acts like he's holding a bomb until Jim Office takes the batteries out of the toy, and he very, very emphatically says to his son, "No noises." Sure hope that doesn't come up later again.
The fact that he says that is like, dude. To what end? Like, what?
How did they get to day 89 without him impressing this upon his son?
Like, I know why they're doing it. Like, I'm not trying to CinemaSins here. I know this is just like exposition and shit, but also like, I think I could have let that with the way that you could have left me in the dark for 5 minutes because it's pretty obvious what happens.
For
like
5 seconds, they go outside after ransacking.
Right, they go outside and
the newspaper on the ground says it's sound. Like, damn, really?
Yeah, They go onto a bridge and they're almost across it, but then Jim Office Man hears the sound of the space shuttle, the toy space shuttle going off. He's like, "Oh fuck! Oh shit! My beautiful bouncing baby boy! I have to run back and get him."
And one thing that I actually enjoyed quite a lot is that the way that the kind of Foley and sound changed by which character was being emphasized, like. You see Dad walking across the bridge, and you hear sound and him reacting to the sound. And then the camera cuts to daughter, and she is blithely acting as though nothing is wrong. She sees her dad react, and then turns back, and through that shot, there's no sound. It's kind of like as though it's from her perspective.
Right.
I enjoyed that quite a lot.
The thing is, I did enjoy that, but also they like completely do not commit to that bit later on. Like there are multiple scenes which like for a moment it appears to be diegetically moving towards the daughter, like we're like living in what the daughter's experiencing with like with her just not hearing anything.
Yeah.
And then it just will suddenly music will start playing underneath it, or like just arbitrary, like the one at the end where like they're in the truck in silence, then the monster breaks the glass, and then there's all of a sudden sound is back. That made me so fucking mad.
Yeah, like, if I'm gonna be like very accommodating to them, like the sun was also there, so maybe it's like cutting between his.
Sure, but like but like the sun was also there for the minute prior of the sound cutting out, but then the glass breaks, and then we can all of a sudden hear again. It's just it feels like it's really just like
It's halfway between a cool choice.
I appreciate when they actually go for it with the diegetic sound things, but they also like if this movie did not have a backing score, I would like it a lot more. I think that there's like some of the worst parts in this movie are when there is non-diegetic music playing.
Interesting.
Because I'm not normally of that opinion, but I just feel like it just feels so out of place in this movie where the entire focus of everything is about like being as quiet as possible, and I think having like dramatic like
the violin swelling,
like that in the background just feels like so strange. I think this movie is afraid to sit in silence like it shouldn't be, and it's really frustrating.
It would need to be a much better movie to not have music, and I think that
the thing is, I don't think it would need to be a much better movie to not have music. I think it would I think this movie could exist like if I were to fucking pull this, like if John Officeman were to send me the raw like unexported like DaVinci Resolve like file that he edited that this movie was edited into, like I think you could just honestly cut the music out and do like some minor editing and you would be a bit better off. It just feels so strange for so much of this movie exists in silence, and then at the end, and then like in the third act it just completely kicks up the music, the backing tracks, and I'm like,
oh, have you been invested in this characters now? Now we can add music. Wahoo.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so the spaceship happens, and the kid John Officeman almost managed to save him, but unfortunately the kid gets got by a dead space monster.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate this. This made me so this right here. It told me right away. Oh, John Officeman just said, "Yeah, I can make a horror movie. What's so hard about it?" And just made this because
they're showing it so quickly.
They show it so quickly here. They like and. Granted, in darker lighting, this would not have been a big an issue, but you just get like a full, like uninterrupted 2-second shot, not uninterrupted, but you get like a full eyeful of what this monster looks like as it eats John Officeman's kid. And then it cuts to a better shot of like, from like the camera is placed like right behind John Officeman's kid. And then it gets like swiped off screen by the monster, and then you see John's reaction. And I think that would have been a way better, instead of like, because what they do is they have John Officeman like running down the bridge, and then it cuts to the side of John Officeman's kid, so you can see like the creature mid-flight, like about to land on the kid and eat him, and then we cut behind the kid and just watch him get snatched away, and John Officeman
they showed
distraught.
the money shot way too early in this,
and they keep showing the money shot. Like they are not scared to show you this monster at all. Like they're not trying to hide it with lighting or whatsoever. Like, and it's like these scenes that are happening are so many of them are taking place at night, but like, the monster is so well lit. It's like John Officeman was like, "Oh, got to make sure that y'all see this. This is because the monster's scariest when you can see it, right?"
Yeah, right. When it isn't living in the background of your imagination, and you can't invent whatever the scariest thing is.
Yeah. And then we skip to like day 400 and something, right? Like day
472, yeah.
And we see a very pregnant Emily Blunt, and
so like that's the thing is that kind of threw me about. So I watched it on like just to know what was coming, and then I watched it for notes, and so I thought, I saw her in this shot, and she seemed like 5-6 months pregnant, and then later in the movie, it turns out that she's 3 weeks from her due date because she does not look. She's pregnant in her uterus alone. It does not like go to her face or her arms or her hips or anything like that.
It's a belly centric pregnancy. And the thing that made me insane about this is that like, why are you like? They want to replace the child that they lost, I guess, is their motivation. But why would you bring another fucking child into this world? Like,
why bring an infant into this world? Like crying and just like it's I in the wiki it talks about like themes and production, like that kind of thing. And some priest read it as a very pro-life movie because of this. Like why they would choose to have a kid in the middle of a, quiet apocalypse, and like it's not a terrible reading, because why on earth would you do that?
Right, like,
yeah. And then like they
like,
have,
do they think that they have to repopulate the Earth? Like, what?
yeah. And so that there was something that happened right at the beginning that also like seemed to kind of be foreshadowing that I didn't think was really paid off, where Jim Office goes to the top of his grain silo and lights a fire, and then the camera pans to the forest of upstate New York where this was filmed, and sees a bunch of other signal fires, and oh, humanity isn't all entirely dead. That's great. And then there's I'll skip ahead. There's another scene where they light fire at the top of the silo, and they don't get any fires to respond to them, which I thought first time through the movie that implied that a lot of time passed and, oh no, the other farms died. But it actually turns out that the next time skip is to the next day. So this is 472, the next day is 473, and then everything else happens on day 473, which confused me.
Oh, this movie is a mess.
Yeah.
It feels so weird to say, because like so much of the drama of this movie hinges on like the monsters that take you when you make noise.
Mm-hmm.
But this should not have been a horror movie. This should have been a drama. Mm-hmm. And John Officeman just really feels like he's trying to straddle both, so that he could get like the publicity of being like, oh, the Office Man, he made a horror movie also. And it's because like I honestly think like the drama in this movie is like good. I don't like John Officeman, but I think the way that he like is I think the way that he and Emily Blunt are around their kids in this movie is genuinely like affecting. Like,
yeah, they do good terror expressions of "do not make a noise," and the tension that the movie builds in a couple of places is like very like gripping,
right?
But making it a horror movie, like a monster movie, out of that is, I think, going a little too far with it.
I think it would be a hell of a thing to do to make a drama movie, to make a monster movie that's not a horror, but like you can do it. I think you could do it. Like I maybe you don't even let's like make it not a horror movie. You just make it like less of a horror movie than this one, less of a horror movie / kind of Jurassic Park-esque than this one is.
Yeah.
And obviously I like Jurassic Park, but like it feels like there are beats in this that are just like taken from Jurassic Park that just do not feel well done when transplanted into this. But anyway,
it's like halfway between Alien and Aliens in as far as like the genre is concerned, and it's stuck between the two in a kind of uncomfortable and unfortunate way.
Right. But anyways, like I just cannot like
yeah. And so one of the other, like I felt bad CinemaSins dinging it again, but there's shots with the lights turn on, and wait, how do you have electricity? Isn't like, do you have a generator? Isn't that making noise? What's the like? There's a hole there. I don't quite get that one.
The thing. The one thing that I think this movie has going for it is like some of the world building that's happening. Like, I think that like the next scene that we get is the two surviving children, son and daughter. They're playing quiet Monopoly, which is Monopoly with they can only roll the dice on the carpet, and instead of like the pewter pieces, they have like things that will not make noise, like little felt squares and stuff.
Yeah. And that Foley apparently was recorded on set. They just amplified it in post, but that the dice rolling noises was done on set, which I found kind of interesting.
Yeah. They knock over a fire, but it's fine mostly. They knock over a lantern and make a fire happen.
Yeah, and I thought the fire was going to be the issue, but no, actually, it was the lantern going and thud. And
then My next note is that they killed the Chungy raccoon, which is just a reference to there's an outside shot of like two raccoons walking down a path, one much fatter than the other, and then a big monster hand comes and grabs the fatter raccoon and eats
Just
it.
absolutely squooshed it. Yeah.
Made me sad. There's a good scene in like the basement of the house zone that they are existing in that comes a little bit in a little bit. I'm jumping around a little bit.
Yeah,
I apologize for that. If there's anything I'm skipping over, let me know and we can jump back. One of like the scenes in this movie that I actually just like no qualms liked was the scene when Emily Blunt and Jim Office Man go down to the basement and like Emily Blunt has her AirPods in and she's listening to music and like she just starts dancing with John Office Man and she puts an earbud in his ear and like this is the one time I think the music playing in a non-diegetic fashion works for me in this movie because it
is diegetic. They're listening to it
right.
Live,
it's just
live in the moment. Yeah.
Right. It's just amplified so that we can hear what is being pumped into their eardrums. So that's the one. I think if that had been the one moment with music in this movie, I would have been happy. But
Donkey Kong, you can have music once.
And the thing is that like the presence of this scene makes the non-diegetic music that we get later so much more strange to me because like we have not had any music up until this point as far to my recollection. And this is like the first time we hear music and there's like a build up to it because like we hear like the little like the tinny sound that you always hear if someone's listening to music really loudly on their headphones. And then like John Office Man gets closer and she puts the earbud in his ear and like the music like opens up and we start hearing it. And like I genuinely think that's good. And then it just like later on in the more dramatic scenes in the third act, we just have like violins and shit going. But
yeah, I feel like I half remember dramatic violins when Jim Office is trying to save Son 2, but I could be wrong about that.
I can check that real quick actually because I as I was saying that sentence out loud, my curiosity was piqued.
That's like the only moment that I could think of being an exception to that because it's crickets and softly placing objects down, but otherwise it's a pretty quiet movie up to this point.
Oh yeah, there are violins when John Office Man has to try and run and save his son.
So yeah, like to your point about like them doing the money shot real early, like that's what 5 minutes in and they've
10 minutes. Yeah. John Office Man goes upstairs and we experience Chekhov's nail when Emily Blunt is doing laundry because she like rips her dress on a nail that's sticking out of the wood and shouts out to friend of the me Moose for giving me a heads up about that nail coming back into play because I can't watch foot injury.
I definitely I saw that coming and knew to close my eyes because just gore in that particular like intimate way is not. When I was watching the movie The Martian, which is not a horror movie, there's a point where there's an abdominal injury and he staples it closed, and I very much grayed out in the theater, and I had to close my eyes until hold my hand above in front of the screen before or until the foot stuff was done happening.
Yeah. I just wanted to, shouts out to Moose for looking up that scene and making sure to warn me exactly when it happened. At Emily Hammersley, HAMMERSLEY. Follow him. Good art.
Yeah.
So they're out on like an expedition, I guess.
Yeah. So there's a weird scene that I don't like understand character wise. Where Jim Office and Son are going to collect fish from a bunch of traps in a river, and daughter wants to go and like obviously needs to bond with her father. Like there was a scene earlier where like, oh, it's dinner time, go get your father, and she's like, no, I don't want to, and then mom is like, go get your father. I know that you have, a normal father-daughter relationship with him, but you like, so they need the bonding time, but like man has to go collect food, woman has to go take care of pregnant woman, which I didn't understand the character of that, but whatever.
Yeah. but so we're off in the woods like foraging, and then they come across like some old dude who looks really sad and distraught, and I think his wife died.
Well, yeah. Backing up a little bit, before tense scene, I also wanted to mention this. Jim Office gives his daughter an upgraded cochlear implant, and she's like, "No, I don't want to keep trying this. It's not going to work. Fuck you for trying." And then then they go off to on their merry ways.
And the thing is that like it doesn't feel like it is a dad, stop trying to cure this thing that is a part of me, and like again, I keep coming back to like the thing that the rest of the family feels constantly in pursuit of the ability to talk with their words to each other, and they, in pursuing that, John Office Man, who I don't know what his job was before this all happened, but John Office Man,
survivalist apparently,
trying to like build a new cochlear implant for his daughter to make her hear better, and like she is resistant to it, but I feel like we're not like being let into why, and I feel like if like I don't know, I just again feel like there was so much that was left on the table with regards to this character, like.
Yeah, there's like the implied, like, oh, it's been going on for a year and a half, and it hasn't worked at any point previously, so why would it work now? But that's not ever explicitly stated.
It just feels like a dad, stop devoting your time and effort to this. It doesn't feel like from a point of this character's personal agency being like, hey, I don't want to feel like I'm going to get left behind if we reach a point where like the noise monsters are not an issue anymore. Like I think there could be like I know this is just like rewriting this entire movie at this point, but I feel like there could have been like some real significant analysis to this character being like, yeah, it fucking sucks obviously that there are noise monsters and that they killed my brother, but I'm also like in my heart of hearts, I am like secretly grateful now that like everyone kind of knows what it's like to live the way that I do, and or not like knows what it's like. That's not the right way I'm phrasing it, but like maybe like I don't know, like a part of her deep down that's like, I like the fact that my family now has to use sign language at all times, and I'm worried about returning to quote unquote normal life and them not doing that, and them not being as vigilant about it anymore as they have been.
Right. Yeah. The only like kind of in character explanation that kind of makes sense to me would be that she's guilty about what happened to her brother, and is rejecting any attempts at affection and attempts to help her just because she's guilty and doesn't think she deserves it. But again, not stated, and not stated as specifically the conflict between her and her father. But so Son and Jim Office are at the river, explaining the whole idea of if there's a louder noise, then it covers up smaller noises, and you can have a conversation when there's a loud noise happening. They have a conversation about how absolutely everyone in this family blames themselves for the son dying, and how there's this exchange like, do you love her? Of course, you should tell her the story of all father-child relationships, I guess.
Right. He's just such a sad fucking dad.
Yeah. But so then once they're coming back from the fish adventure, the old man emerges in an extremely normal way from the woods, and his wife is disemboweled on the ground, and he does suicide by monster by yelling, and that's the son is traumatized by seeing a dead body again, and hearing someone get killed again, because that's the second time in this film that's happened.
We go back to Emily Blunt in the house, and her water breaks, and this is the point that I realize the next 20 minutes of this movie are going to be fucking awful. Yeah. I frankly hated this.
In terms of like gore stuff, or in terms
not
of
gore
like,
stuff, no. Like I think it just feels like hack shit. Like I'm having a hard time putting, because so what happens is Emily Blunt is she is big pregnant. Her water breaks. She has to have the baby. But John Office Man and little baby boy are not there to like set off the fireworks that they need to use so that she can scream while she is popping out a baby.
She goes downstairs to turn on the red emergency lights that should indicate this, and has the foot thing happen.
Yes.
I didn't expect it to pay off that quickly. Like, it was like 3 scenes ago that Chekhov's gun was placed.
Right.
And got used.
Well, honestly, I was happy to have that one out of the way. Just like,
absolutely,
just be done over with. It did that. It being redeployed so early did make me really worried that someone else was going to step on it later.
Oh, same. Yeah. Like, every time that someone traversed that stairway, I was like, and then, thank goodness no one else got injured by it.
But so she just spends the next, like, she just gets into a bathtub and then spends a long time just like trying to hold the baby in and like
trying not to scream.
Trying not to scream. And then John Office Man and the boy and the daughter set off the fireworks, and then she starts screaming.
So daughter was supposed to be back at the farmhouse, and she went away to do some teenage rebellion and honor her dead brother by putting the little rocket ship at his gravesite, which is the point that he got the place on the bridge where he got. So she sees the fireworks going off and like, oh no, there's something happening back at the farm, and she returns because she's supposed to be they're helping her mom, and her mom is has to put a kitchen timer somewhere to distract the monster and get into the bathtub and try not to yell. So then fireworks go off, and Jim Office makes his way through the house with a gun, and it ends up finding her. I did like the kind of subversion of the image of the bloody handprint being like, usually in a horror movie, when you have a bloody handprint against the glass, that indicates that someone's fucked. But in this case, bloody handprint against the glass means that he found his wife. So I kind of enjoyed the subversion of that. Just that imagery.
By the same coin, it does feel a little bit. I'm kind of two minds about that, because like the red right hand is like that. I learned recently. I've been bringing it up a lot recently because I only just recently learned about it. But red right hand is like a classic like signifier of evil, and I feel like this is like, I'm not saying that it can't be subverted. I just kind of felt like this was a subversion for the sake of a subversion.
It's kind of a surface level subversion. I didn't what it's indicating. Like,
right.
On
and again, it feels like John Krasinski said, yeah, I can do a horror movie, and did this. I kind of want to talk about her giving birth being a major like action climax of this thing. I just like, I'm not saying that this couldn't have been in the movie. I just didn't like it being turned into like a watch Emily Blunt's face contort in pain as she just like holds back the biggest turd of her life, as she like prairie dogs her way into the basement, and like pray that she can hold on long enough for John Office Man to set off the fireworks. I just like, it turned into like an action movie.
It was very much like a thriller or a like a tension kind of related.
It just felt so. And again, I just feel like this movie cannot figure out what it wants to be. Like, this felt like very like, with the kids and the adults both doing the action things, this felt kind of like, this felt a bit Jurassic Park-y, especially with the way that like the kids are separated from the adults and have to like fend on their own for a while.
Yeah.
But like it being like immediately juxtaposed with the scenes with like the fucking aliens horror scene of like the monster sticking its face right next to Emily Blunt's face and her not making a sound.
Yeah.
And then all of that in service of just her popping out a baby. It felt, I don't know. I just kind of fucking hated it, honestly. Like I'm having a really hard time putting into words exactly why, but it just felt like it just didn't feel good.
It felt like a different part, or a part of a movie of a different genre.
It also felt like a climax. It felt like the like there's this shot that I'm thinking of just like you see little baby boy running like as he like tries to like get to a safe spot as all the fireworks are going off, and it feels like the climax of the movie. And then you realize there's still 30 minutes left because there's this you have to you have to solve the problem. You can't just like survive the problem. And I mean, I know that like a lot of horror movies, a lot of zombie and other monster movies do end with you solving the problem. But like, we don't have to. I feel like if this movie didn't set out to like solve and murder the alien, the
monster, whatever.
Sorry, I keep tripping over my words. I'm just like I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm circling a point, and this is all coming back to the complete underutilization of the deaf child as a character, as a deaf person, where it's like this entire thing feels in service of like again, this entire thing is in service of her being able to like I mean, granted, it's a physical reaction of a verb. It's it's a verbal expression via a physical reaction due to pain. But I just completely lost my train of thought. God damn it.
That's all right. It's kind of the thing that you were saying before about it, her being kind of a tool to achieve the means to the end rather than like anything more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like okay. I remember where I was going with all that. So like the fact that they feel like they need to like kill the monster and figure out like a solution in this movie again feels like if they hadn't included that, I would not be so up in arms about this daughter's like deafness not really being a part of her character except for like as a mechanical function and not as and it just does not feel built into her character. Like the fact that they're all trying to solve this problem and go back to the way things were, and this daughter the daughter is just like not being considered in this, and like obviously I mean, I would bet good money that she does not like these monsters, but I feel like there is so much just being left on the table with regards to her being like, hey, are we gonna still
about my deafness and
right
how
or like
it
or like
with society and how
right.
society is different now.
Yeah, just being like, hey, so like I don't want these guys around, but like if we get everything back to normal, are you guys still gonna be signing to each other? Like, am I still gonna have to ask you to repeat things if you're having a conversation with each other? Like, it's and I don't know, maybe I'm missing something.
No, I think that
this could have been the climax of the movie, and then or maybe even like the next couple of scenes could have been the well, okay. So I'm getting ahead of myself.
So the kids are
onto us. A baby is born.
Yes, and then goes immediately into a padded box like he's Moses, and trying to hide him from getting caught. And then the kids are making their way back, and we get the first moment of the question of like, what is the weakness of these giant armored hypersensitively hearing things, where daughter's cochlear implant starts giving her feedback, and again, like it's one of those well constructed, mechanically good shots that well put together, that would have gone well in a different movie, where she's dealing with this feedback in her ear, and the monster is emerging out of the cornfield right behind her, and the like dramatic irony of that shot is really good. And then it goes away once the high pitched noise stops.
Right,
happening.
The feedback from her hearing aid starts happening, and like this is another thing that made me really fucking mad about John. Again, another like entry in my evidence list of John Krasinski just saying, "Yeah, I can make a monster movie." Like he zooms in super duper close on the monster. Like I have a more intimate knowledge of this monster than I have of most monsters in monster movies. Like
I know more about what this monster's ear looks like than my own butthole, frankly.
It does kind of look like a butthole, though, doesn't it?
It kind of does. It's like
it's got a sphincter.
It's yeah. I mean, that's what ears look like, but it
spends so much time zooming in, and
it
so
goes
like
to a macro shot. Yeah,
right. It like gets so up close, it does that like 3 times, like. And this is, again, a shot at night. Like, the monster is, again, so fucking well lit. This is not trying to be a horror movie, except for the fact that it's, like... The reason that this is a horror movie is because... is sort of, like, out of necessity, I guess. Like, if they had actually, like, tried, they could have made actually scary moments aside from just... it's quiet for a while, then bang! Oh no,
Yeah.
you're so scared. Oh,
Yeah.
like it just feels.
Yeah, it's a good, well constructed scenes in a movie that can't quite carry it.
It's like this movie is so much less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Like I think that the world building in this is great. I think that the acting is really good, especially out of these kids. These kids are turning in a great performance.
Very good child actors, yeah.
I like the usage of it. I have my problems, but like the soundtrack itself, like if I were to just listen to it, I would think it was like pretty okay. Like
It was pretty sparing, like all things considered. It
right.
gets
I'm bitching about it a lot, but it is not there very much. The like cinematography is like serviceable, but like everything together just like feels so. Like it just feels weak. Like it just feels like it can't. It just feels like I'm like. It feels like it feels like he took like 5 separate Lego pieces and tried to build the Millennium Falcon out of it. Like he just like took 5 separate race car pieces and built the Millennium Falcon out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
in any case, they're trying to reunite as a family.
Well, it's a boy. They said they said we're going to give our baby gender in this society. We are going to gender our child, and they put the baby in a box.
Yeah, and Jim Office and Emily Blunt have a conversation about oh my God, where are they? The kids aren't there, and then it becomes a metaphor for the other kid that isn't there, and she blames herself for that, and he goes out to find them. She says. If who are we if we can't protect them? Like looking directly into the lens, of the camera. Like, what is the message of this final act going to be? I wonder.
And she says, "Promise me, Ned."
Yeah.
It's. Ugh.
Yeah.
Again, like Emily Blunt is turning in a good performance here. Like I was getting a little bit misty-eyed at this scene. Like I think she is doing a good job in this movie, but it just adds up to it just feels in service of like not much. Like it I'm sorry that I keep just like talking in sentence fragments and then ending them with a because that's just how this movie makes me feel though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So kids are trying to have found one another. The daughter finds the dropped flashlight from son in the middle of the cornfield. They go up to the grain silo and light a fire on top of it. To try to get his attention. And she's like, he's abandoned me, and he's like, no, and then he falls into the silo. And there's an incredibly funny to me moment in the Wikipedia page where it like the Wikipedia editor was doing a CinemaSins ding where it specifically links. I'll just read the sentence. Regan, who has jumped in after Marcus, sinks into the corn and nearly suffocates, but Marcus saves her. So spoilers, I guess. But the sinks into the corn and nearly suffocates links to the Wikipedia page about grain entrapment. Yeah, and talks of like it talks about in this Wikipedia article about how impossible it is to free yourself from grain entrapment once you're waist deep, and these kids go like neck deep or further into the grain, and it felt very much like that Wikipedia author being like, actually it wouldn't work that way,
right.
Which cracked me up. Just nothing about the movie, but
suffocating in grain is a hell of a way to go.
Oh yeah, I would not wish that upon someone. But
I would have really liked it if they'd managed to get the monster to get fucked by the grain there, because the thing is, if this is like the fucking the Jurassic Park, the kids holding like the plexiglass window while the T-Rex tries to eat them through it, and then like the monster just like sinks into the grain as it's trying to get them. I would, and that's how the movie ends, because there's a really good emotional end to this movie after, just about right after this scene when John Officeman reunites with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been happy with the movie ending like that.
Yeah.
But the monster manages to get away after Regan's cochlear implant scares it again.
Yeah.
Regan daughter.
Yeah.
And then they get out of Grain Hole, and they're
Reunite
like,
with Dad, and
and I'm saying to myself, this movie could have ended here, and it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a fine end to the movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
And then they hear clicking, and Jim Office gets incredibly hit by the monster. Son yells, and so now the monster is attacking son and daughter while they're in the truck.
Yes, and this is another one of the things where, like, it's I talked about this earlier, and this is like one of the most garish versions of this, because some of the other times when it is like we get the POV of the deaf daughter, like we get her POV, and then like there's no sound, and then it'll cut, and then there might be sound. But like this time we have no sound. We are staring out the side window of the car.
Well, so the feedback starts like building up, and she turns her cochlear implant off, and so then sound cuts completely, and then
yes. And then she turns towards the window, and she sees like the monster charging it. And then as soon as we do not get a cut, the monster breaks through the glass, and suddenly we hear glass shattering, and there's sound again. And it is.
They don't commit to it, yeah.
Right. They do not commit to the fucking bit. The thing is, I am so endeared to this movie immediately because it has a gimmick. I love horror movies with a gimmick. Like, this is why Unfriended, despite being a garbage-ass movie, is still, like, not one of my favorites, but, like, I have a lot of love in my heart for that movie because of the fact that it entirely takes place on a computer screen through a Skype call. Like, And, like, they just do not commit to their gimmick. If you're not going to fucking commit, why are you doing a gimmick in the first place?
Yeah, because the glass shatters, and then the music starts swelling, and Jim Office tells his daughter finally that he loves her and sacrifices himself by yelling. It's a really good... The scene that follows here is genuinely good, but
So what happens is Jim Office, like, with all of the emotion that he can muster, he like signs "I love you so much" to
like,
his
I've
children.
always loved you, yeah.
Right? And it's a genuinely tender moment, and then it's kind of. I don't know how they could have made this not be undercut, but the way that it just ends with Jim Office being like pretend that you can see me signing the words "I love you" right now, like "I love you, I've always loved you."
And then,
it's just really funny.
And he's like making an expression that belies the fact that he's just going It's goofy.
He gets killed, and then the children make their way back to the bunker.
Yeah, they shift the car into neutral and just kind of coast downhill back to the farmhouse.
And they make it back, and they reunite with Emily Blunt, and again, could have been the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't get this incredible wall of newspapers, which I have screen capped, and I am going to share with you. Hold on.
Oh God, yeah, it's like that basement seems to me like it's like the raving like scribblings on a chalkboard of just the world's dumbest man.
Right. It's a conspiracy mood. It's a fucking Pepe Sylvia mood board. But it's the thing I actually pulled up. The thing I just sent you is a wall, a corkboard full of news clippings that I just thought were really funny. For example, we have one that's like it does not have a thing on top of it. It says indestructible, Defense Secretary, not bullets, not bombs, armor is impenetrable, and
we got it.
I'm sorry to CinemaSins this movie, but like the military loves to use like high-pitched sounds to regularly disrupt protesters. Like the National Guard has those
microwave, right.
Yeah, it's not an LRAD, is it?
I think
that's
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I was thinking MRAP, but no, that's the big
Are
truck.
you telling me that they did not jump at the opportunity to try and blast a hypersensitive, an alien with hypersensitive hearing with that?
Yeah, that I didn't quite understand that. And like there's like just in society there's things that make high pitched noises all the time. You'd think that like someone else would have discovered that.
Does no one else have a cochlear implant? Like, is Jim Office Man's just so uniquely poorly built that it's like lethal? Like,
Yeah.
Like if daughter had kept the original cochlear implant, would she have been like just absolutely eaten up by that monster that one time?
Yeah, is this the first time that they've had a close encounter with the monster, so that this is the first time that this has happened? Yeah.
I'm also losing it at the one in the middle. That's the Washington Post, the final edition, and the headline is President asks for, quote, quiet fortitude.
Yeah, that seems presidential. And then right underneath it, New York Post, it's sound! Like,
Yeah.
It's just very, very unsubtle as the...
Hold on. Sorry, I just zoomed in on the image. The full headline is President asks for quiet fortitude in final State of the Union address. This is the last one.
This is the last one.
It's the last call for alcohol. Go ahead and do your speeches.
I know who I want to take me home. Yeah, it's... And yeah, as daughter looks at this, because she was banned from going down in the basement early in the movie, and so as she looks at this wall full of newspapers as though it's like the Pulp Fiction briefcase, discovering that, oh, actually my dad was working hard to try to fix my cochlear implant, and that means that he loves me the whole time. It's yeah.
So the last part of this movie is Emily Blunt and daughter's. Where is the son for this scene? I actually don't.
Yeah, so they all go downstairs into the basement and all manage to avoid the yucky foot nail, and like the son is holding newborn, and sitting in one corner of the basement as daughter and Emily Blunt are up near the wall of radios and technology and newspaper clippings, and they hear the monster walking around upstairs, and it ends up stalking its way downstairs to find them.
Yeah. And then we get like this scene is just fucking like this scene just made me fucking mad. Like I think the daughter's character is like there's a lot left on the table, but I think that for the most part the daughter's like deafness is handled relatively well. Mm-hmm. Except for this last scene when she just has to sit there for a fucking minute with the cochlear implant like microwaving her brain with it sitting on the side of her head, and then she just sits there like with her head clamped on the side of her pain like Magneto is like entering her mind unwillingly, and then she just like takes it off and is like, oh, I could have just done this the whole time. And holds it up to a
microphone, yeah, and then it makes the high-pitched noise loud and kills the monster, or at least
well, it makes all of like the clicker fungus from The Last of Us, like it makes all of them stand up, which leaves Emily Blunt an opening to blast the thing's head off with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And the end of this movie is like they look.
Yeah, I was.
The end of this movie fucking sucks.
I was very surprised by that scene where
dog shit.
Where like it felt like very out of left field where. Emily Blunt like goes and collects some documentation that she lived in a location for a while, and goes to the courthouse. It's like 15 minutes, and it goes on. She changes her name, and you see at the end of it, it just says Epically Blunt, and I just thought that undercut everything that it was going for. Just
that is basically what happened. So the end of this movie is like we see like video camera footage of like some more of the monsters like running. I can't tell if it's like towards or away from their place, but like
I think towards because of the big shotgun noise and
so they're heading towards the place because they just heard all that feedback from the cochlear implant on the microphone and the shotgun exploding. And so the daughter looks back at Emily Blunt, and Emily Blunt cocks the shotgun, and the movie ends. And fucking awful. Absolute dog shit ending to this movie. This movie had so many good fucking off-ramps where it could have actually ended. And it ends with the fucking of a shotgun. Are you listen, I am a dyke. I love to see Emily Blunt with a shotgun. I cannot believe you're making me complain about seeing Emily Blunt with a shotgun. Like,
but there's another movie where she does a shotgun better, and it's called Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat, or whatever that movie is called.
yes, it's
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
This movie is just a fucking mess. It feels like John Krasinski really set out to like I feel like he had the script for a drama, and then someone told him to like punch it up and like make it a horror movie, and so he did, but he also kind of made it like Jurassic Park, and like I like all of these things. Like I love Jurassic Park. Like the scenes in Jurassic Park when the kids are hiding from the Velociraptor. That shit fucking rules.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as this podcast started, I went into this movie kind of less critical of it, and went through the movie without quite as many qualms with the themes and pacing and the genre and all the rest. I totally understand what you're saying now, because this last scene I was like, oh, this isn't a serious movie. Okay, I get it.
The thing about the end of this movie is that honestly, like, I think the end of this movie sucks, even if you get rid of Emily Blunt cocking the shotgun. But like, I think if they had just let this movie fucking end in silence, that would have been good. Emily, I hate this ending, but like, daughter slams the cochlear implant on the microphone. The alien's head goes because it can't handle like the sound, and then Emily Blunt blows its head off, and then we just sit there in silence after that. I think that would have been a much better ending to this movie instead of violin,
swell, and epic shotgun. Yeah.
Instead of daughter looking at Emily Blunt and saying, "They're fucking our pussies," and Emily Blunt saying, "Now you're talking my language." God. So, on a scale of 0 to 5 homemade Monopoly pieces, how many homemade Monopoly pieces are you going to give this movie?
I'd say a solid 3, because my time didn't feel wasted. But it and the scenes that were well constructed and functioned on their own rights. It just kind of fell apart.
The thing is that I said this earlier, but like I have seen worse movies on this podcast. Like this movie had, at the very least, a competent person behind most of the things. I just felt like there was so much left on the table that by this movie that like I just felt so disappointed by it. Like I think the lowest I'm gonna go for like maybe a 2 homemade Monopoly pieces here. Like I think any lower would be just like disingenuous, because there were parts of this movie that I did actually like, and when this movie is like actually firing on all cylinders, it's good. But the thing is that like it's almost never firing on all of those cylinders. There's just so much being left on the table, and it just made me so fucking mad. And
it was a very hyped movie, and so to have it be like end up like this, is pretty disappointing.
This movie came out was this 2018 or 2019?
2018, I think.
I felt like this movie came up in the same conversations as Hereditary, and looking back, that's making me really mad, because I don't think Hereditary is like a perfect movie, but I think it has so much more cohesion than this movie did.
Yeah, it felt like not a waste of my time, but not something that I would,
right, I'm
recommend to other people.
Like, I'm not coming back to this, and again, I'm not going back to Hereditary either, but that's for a completely different reason, because that movie is just upsetting.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't think we don't have any questions this week, so we can just go straight into recommendations.
Okay. Yeah, recommendations is an interesting one. I've just kind of been enjoying, so I spent, most of my teenage years being one of those nerds that holds his nose at any mention of sports ball and refers to sports in those terms. But then I discovered that Formula One racing is a thing, and apparently that tickles the same part of my brain that a typical guy might get tickled by or whatever. And so this morning was the second race of the season, so I've been enjoying watching that, and in between seasons of races in the season, I've been watching the Netflix drama documentary thing, Drive to Survive, which interviews all the drivers and makes drama out of it all.
Nice. My recommendation this week is going to be, you know what it is. It's the brand new season of anime. We got all these new shows, and so my recommendation this week is going to be a new show I've been really liking. It's called Friends at the Table, season 5, 6, not Partisan. Sanfiel. Ha, got you with the bait and switch. Just kidding. I'm not talking about anime this week. Next week though, you'll get some recommendations.
Seinfeld is really good. I'm one season away from, or haven't quite caught up yet, but
yeah, I'm also one episode behind. I say this. I've said this like every time for the last I said this for not Bluff City. What was the Twilight? I said this for Twilight Mirage. I said this for Partisan, and I'm saying it again for Sanfiel. This is the season that I get into Friends at the Table, but I feel like I am actually my brain is actually like sticking to Sanfiel in a way that it didn't with Partisan. And listen, you can make your own decisions about whether or not that is affected by there being a little capybara guy, a fat titties vampire, and a large goat woman. We can argue all day about whether or not I'm being influenced by my furry and horny aspects, but let's leave that at the door.
Yeah.
It's also just really good, and I have not really sunk my teeth into an actual... Well, no, that's not true. Eidolon playtest, I also sunk my teeth into, but, it's nice to enjoy actual play podcasts when the only other things that I'd been listening to really were... Sorry to the Adventure Zone, but the Adventure Zone. Eidolon playtest also very good, and their actual play is great. Just to be clear, I'm not slagging on that. That's just
right.
My only references are Friends of the Table, Eidolon, and the Adventure Zone, which is not a... Two of those are on one side of the spectrum of good to bad.
I had basically same Adventure Zone and maybe one or two episodes of Dimension 20 or whatever, but the way that Austin talks about world building, the way that they talk about playing the games, the way that they in the Partisan postmortem, they talked about a major character death that they did on the show, and then they went back and undid it because it didn't feel right. And the way that they talked about that being an option is it opens up the world for a lot of people, including myself, I think.
Yeah, I like it a lot. There's very many good things about it.
It's good.
So that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Fear Baiting. Joe, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, I believe as The Tallest Jew. I don't tweet much, and you can find me in the HKIP Discord.
Patreon.com/fearbaiting is where you can go to support this podcast as well as our sister show, The Wonder Yerks. $1 a month. If we get the episodes up early, you get them early. $5 a month, you get your name on the podcast and a message. Also, if you want to send one in, $10 a month, all that, plus you get to choose a movie for us to watch. Thank you very much to Ducky Aisha, Paul Moran, Kit Spindler, Michael Kaiser, and Paul Bechtel. Thank you all so much. We are at Fearbaiting on Twitter. Those are the only places really that's important to find us. Blair edits most of these episodes. Find him on Twitter at Blair Kitsch. Seda did the incredible intro-outro music for this podcast. They are on Twitter at Nudity. They also make music under people you meet outside of bars, or you can just head to gaygothvibes.online for more information about that. If you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at Sunhatzhenya, SUNHATZHENYA, Sunhatzhenya. Thank you to Noisepace.xyz for hosting this and so many other great podcasts, like many podcasts that I do, such as The Wonder Yerks, which I previously mentioned is the sister show of this because Blair and Seda are on it. Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, the Leftism podcast that I do with a bunch of my friends, and Special Grade Snacks, which is a Jujutsu Kaisen watch-along podcast that we finished a couple of weeks ago. You should go listen to it. I thought pretty good. I think that's everything. So until next time, I'm Sarah.
I'm Joe.
And remember,
you can put a fucked up guy anywhere.
Good night, everyone.